welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I am working on 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. This is the second video that you will see on my channel today. I will have this one load up first thing this morning, and then this afternoon I'll have Scraplift Crafternoon show up as well. But let's talk about the sketch that we're going to be working on today. This is a beautiful 2-page sketch. The designer is Jackie Criddle Casciani. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. This is just gorgeous. I love it. And it looks like it's an 8.5 by 11 sketch. And so since I scrapbook 12 by 12, I'm going to have to modify it just slightly. Not a lot, just a little. I have pulled in my Vicki Boutin Warm Wishes. There might be some evergreen and holly in here. I'm not sure because I mixed those two collections up. But it may just be all Warm Wishes. Anyway, so I have these collections. And this is a piece of pattern paper that I used for a previous Christmas layout just a couple of days ago. I made another sketch, a 2-page layout to get some Christmas stuff done. I'm going to use this, and I have some ephemera that I thought I might use. We'll see. I pulled in my Pinkfresh Studios Dough ink. This is the brush that goes with it. This is a stencil from Vicki Boutin. I think this is from the newest collection. And I've got 2 pieces of craft cardstock. The alphas. I have the phrase sheets, stickers, phrase, words, icons, another set of phrases. These are the puffy ones. And then some other patterned papers that I went through the collections. And it does look like I only picked up Warm Wishes. That's pretty cool. It wasn't intentional because they are all mixed up in my Christmas drawer. So I pulled this piece because I thought I might use this here. You'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that mixed media for my background. It's not going to be a whole lot. It's just going to be a little bit, but I need to get started. So I'll be right back. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some stenciling on here. I'm going to use my dough ink from Pinkfresh Studio, and it's going to be a monochromatic type stenciling. As you can see, I taped down my layout like I did the other day just to help me get things lined up perfectly when it's time to start lining up stuff. I am kind of just putting the stenciling across the top, and then I'm going to put some in 2 of the corners as well, the lower left and the lower right corner. I'm not going to stencil the entire cardstock. The other thing that I will do, and I will do that off camera, is I will ink the edges of this cardstock. It just gave it a finished look, and I don't know for sure if you can actually see it in the close-ups at the end of the video, so you should look for that and see if you can. I'm just kind of just putting it on here whichever way. There's no rhyme or reason to this stenciling. It's just going on there, and you'll have to excuse the kitty if you can hear him in the background. He's running through the house. It's time for night-night zoomies, and he's yelling at the top of his lungs. So if you hear him, nobody's killing him. He's just being a silly boy. Anyway, I'm pretty much just going to be as careful as I can on this edge because my layout is actually falling off the right-hand side of my glass mat, and so it makes stenciling a little bit difficult. And I know you can't see everything, but I promise you I stenciled to the edge. Now I'm just going to put some stenciling on the cardstock that goes in the envelope where this stencil is stored. This is something that I'm doing as I use a stencil. I'm trying to get it stenciled so that I know which envelope it came out of. And this is just a new way that I'm going to be storing my stencils eventually. So next up, I am going to add some gold splatters. And these are my Prima metallic watercolor. And oops, that brush still had green paint on it. That is so bad. But you know what's funny? Is when the drops that had the green paint and it dried, it was a really cool teal gold color, which matched the pattern paper. So what a lucky accident, right? I think somebody famous says it's a happy accident or something like that. Anyway, it worked, but I'm just gonna put the gold splatters along the top and bottom. Of course, I'm not gonna put it in the middle because we're gonna be putting pattern paper down there. I'm just kind of randomly putting that stenciling in there. So I let my background dry all afternoon, and this evening I came in and I'm going to start working on getting the pattern paper on the background. This piece, the striped piece, is 2 by 12, and I'm going to scuff up the top and the bottom of this paper. I'm not going to scuff up the sides because it's going to go on the edge of the cardstock. I did discover as I was putting this down that my cardstock was not true 12 by 12. How annoying. I had to trim off just a tad bit of it off camera when I got done with the layout. So you'll have to excuse me as I kind of piddle with that a little bit here when I realize that this strip of paper is longer than my actual cardstock. And I will pick up the cardstock and I will just tuck it underneath so that I can continue to work without stopping. And then I'm going to retape it down. So I'm going to go ahead and get the second striped bit on here. And this is why I tape it down, is so that it will meet up when I'm finished. Otherwise, I get it on my table and I try to get it to meet up, and I've just not had great luck with that lately, so I've just taken to taping it down with washi. And I've got some cute little bunny rabbit washi up there to look at, so it's kind of cute. So I'm going to go ahead and tape this other side down with my ATG. I don't know if you remember last week I was having a whole lot of trouble with my ATG. I kept having to stop and start videos to rethread my refill, and I don't know what the deal was with that refill, but it was sure a pain in the neck. I finished it off and I put a new refill in it and it's not doing it now, so it just must have been a bad refill. I know that happens once in a while. I've gotten a few others occasionally, so this one seems to be working just fine. So I'm going to say that I really adore this piece of pattern paper. It is beautiful, and it reminds me of a piece of basic gray that I had way back when. I'm wondering if I even have any more of that, but it really reminds me of a piece of a basic gray that I used to have. And so I'm going to distress the top and the bottom of this as well, and I'm going to adhere it to my layout. I forgot to mention how big this piece of pattern paper is. It is 4 1/4 inches is what I ended up cutting that piece of pattern paper for each side. Now I'm going to bring in these branding strips, and on the sketch there were a line of hearts along the bottom of the second piece of pattern paper. And instead of doing that, I thought I would go ahead and put this branding strip on each side. I thought, you know, it's a good way to use them, and that way I get them out of my stash and I don't throw them away because I'm really bad about, oh, it's just a branding strip, I'm going to toss it instead of hang on to it. So I am going to go ahead and get these two used since there's 2 of them. And I think that it still goes along with kind of what she had on her sketch. She had, like I said, she had some hearts there, and I'm not going to be putting hearts there. I'm just going to put those branding strips here. I'm going to go ahead and distress the other side and the other branding strip. I did go ahead and cut all of that extra distressing out. I didn't think you needed to watch me do that. You saw me do it for one side. I didn't think you needed to see me do it again. Now I'm going to take this little piece here. Now, originally I thought that I was going to use this to place my title on, and 1, it ends up being too large, and 2, I just changed my mind. So I did go ahead and distress it because I am going to use it. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my photos and I'm going to ink them, and I know I'm off camera. I am so sorry. I thought I was on camera better than I was. But anyway, I inked all 4 sides with my Pinkfresh Studios dough ink, and now I am going to go ahead and distress those. I did all of those, the rest of those photos off camera that way as well. And the reason why I chose to ink first and distress later is just because I was experimenting to see what it would look like. I already know what it looks like if I distress first and then ink. I wanted to see what happened if I inked first and then distressed. Kind of liked the look. It left more of it there, but kind of, you know, roughed it up a little bit anyway. Just a preference, and again, I was just kind of playing. So the original layout has 4 photos on it, and I think I said at the beginning of the video that this sketch looked like it was an 8.5 by 11 sketch, and I scrapbooked 12 by 12. So what I decided to do was to scrapbook 8 3x4s instead of 4 4x4s, which is what it looked like her photos were. And so that's what I'm doing. And I just chose 8 of the photos that I had taken of me and at Christmas in 2015. I just put that coffee cup up towards the camera. That coffee cup is super cute. And towards the end of the video, I actually read to you what it says. My husband was so proud of himself for buying that. That was one of the things that, of course, was not on my Christmas list. I would have never asked for that coffee cup, but he found it, and he knows how much I love coffee, and he bought it. So now I'm just kind of getting ready to embellish. I thought that I was going to get to use those 2 large ornaments. I thought I had 3, and I did not. I only had 2. And so I pulled those off, and I grabbed the next larger size, and I'm going to put 3 of those down this right-hand side where the sketch has stars. I'm just going to be putting ornaments here instead. And I'm going to kind of evenly space them out, and at the end of the video you're going to see that I have a few more ornaments there than I do right here. I went in later and I put in another size of ornaments just to fill it in more, because I felt like the sketch, it had more in it, and I wanted to show that there were more, or I wanted to go ahead and use more. So she had an embellishment cluster on the lower left hand side, and so I've created my embellishment cluster, and she had another one on the left page but on the right side, so and I put a small one there. Now I'm grabbing a title, and eventually this is going to say Celebrate Christmas Day, because I change out what I'm going to put on there, but for right now it says Celebrate, and here in a minute I'm going to grab another word off this puffy sheet, and I'm going to put it underneath it, and it'll say Celebrate Christmas. And I was going to leave it that way, but then I looked at my chipboard sheet and I decided I liked the chipboard phrase that says Christmas Day, and so I swapped them out, and I did that off camera. So I know nothing is actually glued down. I am using these little puffy circles as placeholders. This helps me know where I'm going to glue things, so that when I move things off, I know where to put them back. And so that's why I have no problem putting the puffy stickers on there before I glue things down. So here's where I stick the word Christmas here, and it looks okay. But I decided later that I really, really liked the chipboard piece. I'm going to go ahead and play with this little piece that I thought I was going to use underneath my title. And I'm going to use it down at the bottom, and I'm going to put some puffy phrase stickers on it. And that is going to just end up being another little embellishment piece underneath that set of ornaments there. I'm also looking for a little heart to stick on that little strip with the hearts, because I always feel like it needs to have an uneven amount, and there's 2 on there, so I just add a little tiny black one. I kind of move it around a little bit before I get it where I want it, and more than likely I'm going to have to go back with wet glue to glue those puffy stickers down, because they have a really bad habit of not staying on there. So I remembered that I pulled out some ephemera that I haven't even pulled out to play with. And so I know that I need a place to journal, and so I'm grabbing 2 labels from the ephemera pack, and I'm just going to plop those down right there, and I will go ahead and journal on them. All right, I got my layout completely finished. I wrote my journaling. I swapped out the puffy word that said Christmas here and put in this label that says Christmas Day instead. I also tied some bows with twine, this little roll of black and white twine. Didn't want to make you watch me do that on camera. It took quite a bit of time, and you've seen bows being tied before, and I've tied a couple on camera in the last month. So anyway, I did put some of the ornaments up on foam adhesive, and I went in and I added a little bit more splatters with my Distress Oxide Hickory Smoke spray. And I think that's about it. So I want to thank you so much for coming to my channel today. I really appreciate those of you who take the time to like, comment, and or subscribe to my channel. If you're not a subscriber, it will always be free to subscribe to my channel. So please go ahead and click that button. If you want to be notified, click the bell too. Then YouTube will tell you when I've dropped new content onto my channel. I strive for 2 to 4 videos a week. Right now, during the month of October, I am putting out daily content for 30 days of sketches. And of course, that is what this video is for. There is a playlist listed in the description box below. Click on that and you can watch all of the creators who have been working so hard this month on these sketches. They are amazing, and you will be truly inspired to see what everybody does with these various sketches that we've been getting all month. The sketches this round are awesome. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, drop them below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I hope you have a great Sunday. Bye.